Behind the grandeur of BTS's Baltimore concert and the sea of ARMY lights still glowing, Park Jimin was reportedly summoned discreetly to HYBE's headquarters in Seoul in the middle of the night, where he was allegedly confronted with a secret mega-project contract containing extreme conditions that could force the star to choose between preserving the group's harmony and taking the biggest risk of his solo career. Welcome to Jimin Gallery, the home for Park Jimin fans who want to discover all the latest news, interesting facts, and stories behind the world's spotlight on Jimin. The night wind in Baltimore still carried the remnants of an extraordinary spectacle after thousands of ARMY filled every corner of M&T Bank Stadium. The Arirang World Tour concert was a tremendous success, creating another historic moment in the global music industry and proving that BTS's appeal has never faded. The members stood proudly on stage and delivered their best performances, even though their physical exhaustion was clearly visible on their tired faces. However, amid the euphoria of the celebration and the sea of glowing light sticks that remained vivid in fans' memories, a sudden report emerged and immediately disrupted the atmosphere of joy. Rumors began circulating rapidly among insiders in South Korea's entertainment industry about a closed-door agenda involving one of the group's brightest stars, Park Jimin. Jimin's return to Seoul this time reportedly did not unfold like the homecoming of a major star hoping to rest and enjoy a brief break. Instead of heading to the dorm or his private residence to recover after an exhausting battle on stage, his footsteps were allegedly directed quietly toward an extremely important location. The agency's highest command center, the magnificent HYBE headquarters, suddenly became the hottest point of interest, attracting the attention of entertainment observers around the world. According to whispers from a trusted source who declined to be identified, the emergency summons took place just hours after the curtains closed at M&T Bank Stadium. What transformed the situation into a major mystery was the extraordinary level of secrecy surrounding the meeting, which was reportedly tightly guarded by senior management. No ordinary managers or promotional staff were allegedly permitted to approach the room where the meeting was taking place, creating a tense atmosphere that immediately sparked thousands of wild theories across social media. Mysterious hashtags began climbing global trend lists, with millions of ARMY around the world simultaneously expressing deep concern. Questions flooded timelines, with fans wondering whether their beloved main dancer was facing a serious problem or preparing to receive a major surprise. The first widespread speculation amid the growing panic was that Jimin might have made a serious mistake during BTS's tour in the United States. Given the strict discipline and demanding rules associated with a major agency such as HYBE, even a minor issue could potentially lead to a tense high-level evaluation. On the other hand, many music industry observers believe that the secret midnight meeting had nothing to do with punishment or a disciplinary violation. Instead, the circumstances appeared more consistent with the kind of high-level negotiations that often precede the announcement of massive, high-value projects. Considering Jimin's rapidly growing global popularity following his solo releases, it would not be unreasonable to imagine that top executives might want to discuss the artist's future on an exclusive basis. A massive solo project, a mysterious collaboration with a world-renowned musician, or even plans for a follow-up album could potentially be discussed behind closed doors, far from the risk of information leaks. Nevertheless, the mysterious aura surrounding the meeting continued to make fans' hearts race as their curiosity reached its peak. The uncertainty seemed to divide his supporters into two groups, those worried about their idol's mental well-being and those eagerly anticipating a revolutionary new move in his career. Hours passed without a single official representative from HYBE willing to provide a press statement or even the smallest clarification to the media. The agency's complete silence only deepened the mystery, seemingly allowing speculation to continue spreading and becoming a major topic of discussion around the world. Was Jimin truly facing a complicated issue that could threaten the stability of his exclusive contract, or was a new masterpiece being prepared to shake up the global music industry? Those major questions remained unanswered, adding another chapter to the long list of behind-the-scenes mysteries surrounding South Korea's highly competitive and pressure-filled entertainment industry. Amid the storm of rumors hitting from every direction, his loyal fans continued to express their full support while urging the agency to provide a transparent official statement. They did not want their idol to carry the psychological burden alone behind the cold walls of a headquarters that seemed to conceal countless secrets of the K-pop industry. To this day, the shadow surrounding the secret meeting between the superstar and HYBE's executive leadership remains one of the biggest mysteries the public wants to see resolved. The global entertainment world appears to be holding its breath, waiting for the moment when the curtain finally falls and the truth behind those closed doors is revealed. Outside the glass windows of HYBE's skyscraper, the lights of Seoul shimmered faintly, casting long shadows across the cold, silent executive conference table. Inside the soundproof, heavily secured room, Park Jimin sat upright with an unreadable expression, concealing every trace of physical exhaustion after spending more than a dozen hours traveling from the United States. Across from him, the CEO sat with a sharp gaze that carried an equally heavy tension, as though bearing a burden capable of changing the course of global music history. A thick folder bearing a distinctive logo lay on the mahogany table, standing as the only silent witness separating the two influential figures in an atmosphere of chilling silence. The tension inside the room intensified when the CEO finally broke the silence of the night, opening the conversation by presenting a confidential document that would have left anyone who saw it holding their breath. According to exclusive information from an insider reportedly close to the agency's senior leadership, the document was not a warning letter or disciplinary sanction related to a Turing mistake, as the public had feared. Instead, the thick folder contained a proposal for a secret mega-project worth a staggering amount of money, specifically designed to radically push the boundaries of the international music industry. However, behind the enormous offer promising extraordinary opportunities and grandeur was an extreme condition that suddenly left Jimin stunned and completely silent. The absolute requirement proposed by the highest-ranking executives demanded a tremendous personal sacrifice, including an obligation to withdraw from the public spotlight for an extended period of time in order to undergo full-scale preparation. Psychological pressure suddenly weighed heavily on the superstar's shoulders, forcing him to choose between preserving the comfort and harmony of the group and taking the greatest risk of his solo career. Outside the building, millions of ARMY around the world remained immersed in wild speculation, completely unaware that their beloved idol was standing at one of the most decisive crossroads of his life. Calls for Jimin's protection even briefly dominated global trends across various social media platforms, reflecting the immense love and protectiveness fans felt toward the star. They continued demanding transparency from the agency, unaware that behind those imposing walls, a monumental decision was quietly being deliberated. When the clock reached 3 a.m, the door to the secret meeting room finally opened slowly, revealing Jimin stepping outside with an expression that conveyed an extraordinary new sense of determination. There was no friendly smile or look of distress on his face. Instead, he carried the confident aura of someone who had just accepted a major destiny that could shake the world once again. His firm footsteps as he left the HYBE building seemed to send a silent message to the world that the real storm was only about to begin. News of his decision spread like wildfire among the agency's executives, leaving a palpable sense of tension throughout the upper floors of the HYBE building. Staff members who happened to cross paths with him reportedly noticed Jimin giving a faint, mysterious smile before entering his private vehicle, which had been waiting in the dark basement. The pitch-black car immediately sped through the quiet streets of Seoul at dawn, carrying the star toward a temporary, secluded location where he could reflect on the new chapter of his life that was about to begin. Meanwhile, the agency's public relations team finally began moving quickly to contain the wave of global panic that had already intensified across international social media platforms. A mysterious official statement was released simultaneously, without directly confirming the contents of the meeting, yet offering a strong hint that a new era unlike anything previously witnessed in the K-pop industry could soon emerge. The brief statement only poured more fuel onto the flames of public curiosity, sending music industry observers into a frenzy as they speculated about what groundbreaking move the global icon might be preparing. Now, the entire world can only wait for the moment when the veil of secrecy is finally lifted by the star himself, whether through a sudden announcement or an artistic project capable of shattering global records. That secret late-night meeting now stands, within this narrative, as one of the most dramatic and pivotal moments in BTS's career journey, proving that behind the dazzling lights of a massive stage, there are always unseen mental battles and profound destinies being decided in silence. Behind the grandeur of BTS's Baltimore concert and the sea of ARMY lights still glowing, Park Jimin was reportedly summoned discreetly to HYBE's headquarters in Seoul in the middle of the night, where he was allegedly confronted with a secret mega-project contract containing extreme conditions that could force the star to choose between preserving the group's harmony and taking the biggest risk of his solo career. Welcome to Jimin Gallery, the home for Park Jimin fans who want to discover all the latest news, interesting facts, and stories behind the world's spotlight on Jimin. The night wind in Baltimore still carried the remnants of an extraordinary spectacle after thousands of ARMY filled every corner of M&T Bank Stadium. The Arirang World Tour concert was a tremendous success.